So you've done it. You launched your brand new business website. It looks absolutely amazing. You're so proud of it, and you're just waiting for the customers to start pouring in. But then, crickets. If you've ever felt that, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we are going to break down exactly why that happens and give you a super clear, actionable plan to get your new site found on Google without spending a dime on ads.
This feeling right here, it's probably one of the most common and frustrating experiences for any new business owner. You've put all this time, all this money into building this beautiful digital storefront, and the silence can be, well, it can be deafening. It really does feel like you've built a fantastic shop in the middle of a desert, but forgot to build any roads leading to it.
So, what's really going on? Well, the heart of the problem is pretty simple. Just having a great looking website isn't enough. Google isn't just going to automatically start sending people your way. Before it does anything, it first has to understand what your site is even about. And just as important, it needs to trust your site. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it feels personal, I know, but it's purely technical. The reason they haven't come is that Google either doesn't know you exist yet or it has no idea who to send to you. But the good news is there's a very logical process to fix this. Okay, before we dive into the how, we have to get our mindset right. Getting found on Google, what we call search engine optimization, or SEO, is a long-term strategy. It's not a switch you just flip for instant traffic. Think of it as an investment that pays off big time over time. And here's the timeline we need to be realistic about. It usually takes somewhere between 3 to 6 months of consistent effort to start seeing real, meaningful results. This isn't about getting a quick little spike in traffic. It's about building a sustainable, reliable source of visitors for years to come. And this is a really important distinction. Look, if you need customers like right now, today, then tactics like social media, networking, or direct outreach are your best bet. They are definitely faster. But if your goal is to build that consistent, automated flow of ideal customers month after month, then SEO is hands down one of the smartest things you can do for your business. I love this analogy because it illustrates the concept perfectly. Doing SEO is like building a digital superhighway that leads directly to your website. Yeah, it takes time and effort to lay all that asphalt and paint the lines, but once that road is built, it's there, and people will keep using it to find you day in and day out. Okay, let's get into it. How do you actually start building that road? Well, it all starts with a solid foundation. These are the absolute non-negotiable first steps you have to take. First up, you literally have to tell Google that your website is live. It doesn't just know. You do this by setting up a free tool called Google Search Console and submitting what's called a sitemap, which is basically just a map of all your website's pages. Then, once Google finds your site, you got to make sure it can actually understand what it's looking at. So what does understandable really mean? It's pretty straightforward. Every single page on your website needs to have a crystal clear purpose. When Google's little robot crawlers or, a human being land on a page, they should instantly get what it's about, who it's for, and what the next logical step is. This just comes down to good structure, like clear headings and content that makes sense. All right, so the foundation is laid. Google knows you exist and understands your pages. The next step is to choose the right path to guide the right kind of traffic down your new road. We do that with keywords. Okay, listen up, because this is the single biggest mistake new website owners make. They try to get found for these huge, broad search terms that are wildly competitive, and they just end up getting buried on page 50 of the results. It's a losing battle. This slide is the perfect example. Instead of trying to fight thousands of others for a term like web designer, you get specific. You focus on a phrase your ideal customer would actually type in. Web designer for small businesses in London is way less competitive. And you know what? It attracts exactly the person you want to talk to. This is your secret weapon. And hey, if your business serves a specific local area, this is a total game changer. Setting up a complete Google business profile is one of the quickest ways to start showing up in local searches and on Google Maps. Just make sure it is filled out completely with photos and that all your details match your website exactly. Okay, so Google can find you. It understands you. You're targeting the right keywords. We're almost there, but that's still not quite enough. The final and absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle is that Google has to see your website as credible and trustworthy. So what do we mean by trust in this context? It's not some vague feeling. For Google, it's a measurable score.
It's based on all these different signals it sees across the internet that point back to your website and basically vouch for its credibility on a certain topic.
So how do you build it? Well, the most powerful signal is when other quality websites link to you. You can think of these as recommendations or votes of confidence. But it also includes things like mentions of your business online, creating genuinely useful content that people want to read and share, and making sure your site is technically sound, fast, secure, and easy to use on a phone.
Whew, we've covered a lot of ground. So let's pull all of this together into one simple, memorable roadmap that you can start using today. And here it is, your 6-step plan to get found. Number 1, set up Search Console. 2, clarify your pages. 3, use specific, realistic keywords. 4, nail your local profile. 5, build that trust with great content and links. And finally, 6, make sure your site is fast and works well for everyone. That's the formula right there. And just remember, this is an asset you're building for your business. It does require patience and consistency, but the payoff is that steady stream of qualified traffic, the kind that can keep coming for years, long after you've done the work.
So let's circle all the way back to the question that started this whole thing. After everything we've talked about, what's the real simple answer? And this is the most important thing to remember. Your website isn't a failure. It is not broken. It's simply waiting for you to finish the setup process. By following these steps, you're not just fixing a problem, you're unlocking your website's true potential to become a powerful engine for your business. Now, go get started.